Hello, I'm Marta Valera and this is my presentation for practice number 1. First piece of work, introduction. In the first place, when I discovered that we had to do this practice, I began to inquire about the different topics and to consider options that I would carry out, asking myself which ones would interest me the most and which ones were better for me. Then I started thinking, geometry, okay, but what technique? Geometry with classical or modern technique? I was really debating internally for a while until I settled on photography, a modern technique that I'm very fond of and that my father loves and practices daily basis. That is why I consulted him for advice and this technical team, but we'll talk about this process later. Body of text. The creation process was slow. It was not clear what geometric body I wanted to capture with the camera. At first, I thought of a vase full of diamonds that I have in my living room at home, but the shape of the vase did not convince me. Then I was observing several buildings in my town that had graffiti with geometric figures, but still did not capture the essence I wanted. Then I saw it, and I found the image that finally chose, which for me perfectly defined what is for me geometry. I took several photographs before choosing the final one. I had found the idea. I did not want to photograph geometry objects as such as. I wanted to find geometry in another way. In shadows, on the walls, pillars, etc. Two of the photographs I took were in Algeciras, Murcia, at the Isla Basilica, where the first photo I found how the pillars and columns of the roof of the building come together to create geometric shapes. The last photo, the one that I have chosen, was a wonderful coincidence that I was looking for. I found. The sun was placed in the exact position so that the light would pass exactly through the doors and windows of enormous glass, forming with shadows, rhombus, parallelograms and multiple geometric shapes, both inside the building and in the country of the institute. Now, conclusion. About my perception of art. Art, the simple three-letter word, has a broad definition. From photography to music, from dance to painting, everything is an art form. Create something without words, something that speaks to people. Art, it is own language. We see art every day, but how we see it is different. In case of this first piece, I think that art has done one more time of its own creating that beautiful image composed only of light and shadows. Art is where you least expect it, absolutely everywhere and nowhere. About developing my skills. Regarding the development of my abilities, being frank, and I have needed advice and help from my father. How to read light, how to know how to find some details, to find the perspective. About things that I have realized. One thing that I have realized is taking a good photograph is not as simple as taking out of the mobile phone and capturing. If you need precision, you need good highlight, pulse, control, the operator shifting, etc. About the creative process. The creative process of this photograph is very random. It was a coincidence to find those shadows placed in that way, creating just those geometric bodies. Now, the second piece of work, introduction. When I started with this second job, I was clear that I wanted to do something with I felt fulfilled, but also partly identified. My first idea was gender roles or woman stereotypes, but then I chose the devil idea because the devil people that are not what they seem, the mask and all this stuff are very, very present in my life right now. So I wanted to do something that is very present in my life. Body of text. The creative process consists in two parts: creating the image or concept that reflect what I had in my mind, and the other part creating and drawing itself. The first part was frustrating. I did not know how I could put an idea on a canvas. I was talking to my best friend about what she thought, and we did not think of anything creative, so we started to think of Sick Girl, and the idea came as a starlight to me. In the series, the protagonists were at them postcard party, and not everything what is seen to be. The character that everyone had at the baddest was the most faithful, and the friendly girl that everyone believed was innocent ought to be the most treacherous, and I saw it. A mask. I had to use the symbol of a mask, and I had to paint a devil with a mask. When I already had the concept, everything was much easier. I just had to write the lines, draw the lines, and then paint. So this second part was much easier than capturing the idea. Conclusion about my perception of art. I have grown up seeing art and above what painting refers to. I have grown in museums and galleries, seeing my parents are very fans of culture and art. So when I think of a work of my perception more than material art, once I think of painting. About developing my skills. Regarding the development of my skill, this work has been challenged since I am not particularly good at drawing. I have shown in my practice of the smallest book, but I have taken a personal challenge and I have decided to do my best, and I'm very happy with the result. About things that I have realized that creating a draw from scratch without looking at an image, without copying or without having a reference is very difficult. I highly value those who draw from scratch, those who create without template or model. About creative process. Regarding the creative process, it has been strange, but fun and enriching, but very frustrating at the first because I could not reflect the first time what I was in my mind. About art or items that I have used or social concepts that I maybe thought. I have used the stereotype concept, and this is like the social concepts that I have used, like the devil and the stereotype. Thank you.